So let us start this particular topic of today's class. We will discuss about the employee orientation, and this topic is also sometime discussed in many books as socialization process. But this employee orientation is, sounds very well about the concept of this orientation, the purpose, and the need of this particular activity. So basically, after getting into this recruitment and selection process, the very important thing comes that now you have a candidate, selected candidates with you, and finally, after that interview process and all, you offer the job to the candidate. Now candidate joins your company. So usually this topic also talks about the first day activity of employee in a very simple manner, or rather you can also understand that how employee is socializing with the department, with the employer, with the organization, with the ecosystem of the whole sector. Look at it. Sector means, suppose you are joining a particular university as a faculty. So in that case, it is not only that you are oriented, you are socialized towards your position, towards your department or university. You are also very much uh, aware about the sectoral happening. That means how many other universities which have conducted interviews, selected faculty members, and what type of faculty members they have selected, what is the trend or the scenario in universities about the faculty employment, or like, you come to know about the overall sectoral performance, sectoral ecosystem. So let us start what exactly it means about the employee orientation. The process of introducing the new hires, means new employee, to their jobs. This is important to understand. This introducing new employee to their jobs, co-workers, their responsibilities, duties and responsibilities, and the workplace. This process is called employee orientation. Or in another way, you can say that welcoming a new employee, the welcoming of new employee is basically not a simple HR department's duty. It is basically the responsibility or collaborative effort of human resource department, the hiring department means the human resource department and hiring department, they may be different, and usually they are. Say for example, production department says that we want a production engineer. So hiring department is production, and the recruiting department is human resource HR department. So it is basically a collaborative, cooperative, mutual efforts of HR department, the hiring department, and other teams throughout that company, which which are part of that whole acquisition process. We talk about manpower acquisition process. So purpose is to understand that it is not only the HR job. The first thing is important to understand that the hiring department must communicate to HR department about their need in actual size and size. Second thing is to understand the hiring department's need, size about the people. The HR department must figure it out in terms of HR policy. So this is a mutual. Means before an employee joins, after this recruitment and selection process, both the departments have already shown a kind of coordination amongst them to understand each other, to understand the job, to understand the organizational policies, and to understand the overall recruitment ecosystem. And the teams throughout means all other people who have already supported or facilitated this whole process. Now you can understand that for government sector, let's take example, Public Service Commission or the other commissions, UPPSC or Public Service Commission, they might be the hiring department. Sorry, they might be the HR department, recruitment and selection department. But the hiring department may be PWD. PWD wants an junior engineer, so they put their demand to uh, Public Subordinate Commission or Public Service Commission or these commissions, and then they looked into this recruitment selection process, interview, and finally select a candidate and provide to PWD department. Same thing happens in your organization, maybe private company or maybe public company. But giving this candidate to the hiring department is not complete job. This employee orientation is also equally important. What are the essentials in orientation process? The orientation process, which includes your hiring department, HR department, and other people of the company. See, the orientation process must include the employment rules or HR policy. Employment rules means terms and conditions on which the particular employee has been hired or have been hired, and the further HR policies. HR policies means maybe promotion policy, maybe salary related issues, maybe transfer policy, maybe termination policy, maybe punishment policy, maybe evaluation policy. So all HR policies must be transparent. This must include in orientation process the very first day. The orientation process, the company safety rules must be covered in very detail. Safety rules means maybe that what employee has to do and what employee is not supposed to do, or all the precautions that employee must take care if the job is somewhat in hazardous nature. The company policy must be told to the particular employees on the very first day. The departmental overview, department means hiring department, means the department for which the person or in which the person is about to join. So overall overview, the role of department, the activities of department, the functions of department, that must be included in orientation process. Apart from this, the job or position overview means even though the candidate has already gone through the selection process and recruitment process, so to some extent the person must be aware about the position. Say for example, if I become IS officer, so I'll be knowing something about IS activities, but not exactly what I am supposed to do. As a faculty position, the first day the assistant professor must be told that yes, you have to take these number of classes, you have to your position is also involved in administrative activities. You may be warden, sometimes you may be proctorial board, sometimes you may be in timetable committee, maybe in different committees. So everything about the job or position must be included in your orientation session. Whichever necessary training requirement or knowledge updation regarding the candidate, means during recruitment and selection process, HR department come across with the gap. knowledge gap or skill gap. So now you can discuss that yes, you lack in this area, or job requires advanced level of training knowledge, so you will be given training in this area. Potential hazards, and not the least is important context of the department or organization. If you look at that model orientation framework, or the you can say step by step process. So usually orientation process in company lasts for 1 day or 2 days something, but in some companies it also it is not a short term process, it is a long term process. It takes months and 2 months, 3 months to get acquainted with the overall organization. But yes, the first day orientation is the key orientation to employee. So I've just tried to figure it out in terms of daily, the 1 day activity or 1 day orientation. Look at, if your new hires arrives at the office in the morning 9, so obviously the first day that employee must be welcomed with the tea, coffee, cake, chocolate, or flowers, whatever the policy of the company says. So maybe that 9:30 you discuss with that new hire about the agenda of the day. That means overall orientation framework, what you are going to do. Maybe that after some time you can have an office tour, department tour, or while making this department tour you can have an introduction to the colleagues or other team members, or you know officers of the company or employees of the company. Maybe that after some time, see, these are some notional, timing is given as notional. Maybe that sometime office tour or introduction to colleague and team requires some 45 minutes or 1 hour, so roughly. So I've just taken a rough estimate. Maybe that 10:30, you have you need to discuss about the early monthly plan or quarterly plan or half yearly plan of the department to the new employee, whichever is suitable. Sometime you do not want to give shock to person about the half yearly plan or something like that, so you can also discuss monthly plan. So it is up to the company and the level of the hires. Maybe this plan discussing requires 1 hour roughly. So now you can give a relax to new employee for some time. Then you can have a team lunch or group lunch. Maybe that I mentioned here at 12 to 1, or it may be 1 to 2 or something like that. Then after this lunch, just after completion of lunch, you can have a company presentation, overall company presentation, which will also have some weekly or monthly structure of overall target or tasks, or weekly or monthly you know checkpoints, checklist. So you need to discuss these things with the new hire. Then after this, obviously you need to provide access to employee resource folder, something like handbook, expense form, passwords, key belongings, I card, and all those uh, you know office equipment, manuals or whatever related to that. So resource folder is to be provided to employee, and this is a rough model orientation which is usually, and this may include many stages also, depending on that nature of the job or job profile. Now, what are the benefits of employee orientation? The very first benefit that I see is that if any new employee comes to the organization and joins without any orientation session, then there are chances of gossips. There are chances that the team members or colleagues, they will start murmuring, thinking, discussing, gossiping, and the more importantly, guessing about the person. So when department or organization guess that, do you know who has joined? See, then there are things which are not genuine, and they become point of discussion. So the very important benefit of employee orientation is that once you introduce employee to the system and you introduce system to the employee, then it minimizes the gossips. The very important thing. Second benefit of the employee orientation is that it reduces the stress or anxiety of the new hire employee, and sometimes departmental people also. Say for example, if your boss is supposed to join, then the all department people, they will have some stress. But if you simply make an orientation of the boss or orientation of subordinate, so it will release stress or anxiety on each party that is associated with the new hire. When you make proper orientation of the employee, then you come across with the level of commitment that employee is expected or employee may show to the company. So this become also equally important, because when you interact, the energy or the enthusiasm of the all team members, that is motivating the new employee to feel committed to the organization. Employee orientation also helps in increasing productivity and reduce mistakes. Now you can say that how. Increasing productivity means there will not be hit and trials. There may not be no, the employee will not make any trials. Employee would be knowing where is what and how to proceed, because every policy is known to person. So it will reflect into immediate results. And obviously, when you know who is who, then you will make minimum mistakes. When you know what is what and where is what you want, so you will you can have a control on your mistakes. Apart from this, it also reduce turnover. Turnover maybe that in terms of employee turnover, because it develops the professional relationship, or you can say we feeling or the team feeling, when you introduce employee on the very first day and it starts first relation with the positive note instead of negative note. If gossip starts, so negative notes will start, and that negative percolates very fast as compared to positive. So what we talk about, that this employee orientation is not the only complete system, but it is the only a brief of what employee orientation means and how this employee orientation should be in a particular company. So this is all about of today's lecture.